Alright folks, from Racing DP here, and this evening, 9 o'clock this evening, I'm going to be doing commentary on the Front Row Racing PCF, round 7 around the Nordschleife. And I've been wanting to have a bit of a go in this Lotus, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to have a bit of a blast in it at the Nordschleife in preparation for commentary this evening. So I figured I'd do it as a little bit of a live stream. Now I've stolen the setup from one of the league drivers, although they didn't give me a gear ratio and a couple of other little bits of data. So I'm not going to show what setup I'm going to be using here at the moment, because it is one of the league drivers' setups, and I did say that I wouldn't share it. So what that means is I'm basically going out on track here with no real knowledge of the setup. I know the track, but it's been a long time since I've actually driven on project cars, so expect to see a few crashes. Well, basically I just wanted to go and have a blast around the Nordschleife circuit in the Lotus 72 or Lotus Type 72D Cosworth that the drivers will be using this evening, so that I have a little bit of a better understanding of what the drivers will be going through when they're doing the race late. I said I haven't driven on project cars for a long time, months. And when I say months, I mean it's probably about 6-7 months since I've actually driven on project cars. But what I have done, I've 2 or 3 minutes, gone around a few corners, just checked the gear ratio, and that's as much as I have done. So it's a little bit of going to be an experience for me. It's been a while since I've driven on project cars, obviously, so got to get used to the weight of the steering wheel. It's one thing I'd sort of completely forgotten about, the difference of the weight of the wheel on project cars compared to Codemasters F1 games, or even R-Factor 2, which I've been on a lot lately. And then obviously there's also the handling of the car. It's an old car, hasn't got a hell of a lot of downforce, hasn't got a hell of a lot of grip, so I've got to sort of work out what the car's going to be capable of. Now I've got an idea of what sort of lap times a couple of the league drivers have been doing around here, so I would be very surprised if I actually able to get close to them. To be honest, I'm expecting to have at least 1 or 2 crashes. I mean, the Nordschleife is up there as one of my favourite tracks, but well, I haven't driven it for a while. 72, 73 corners is a lot of corners to try and remember. Now, if you can't hear me too well, I will apologise. I mean, these cars are noisy little beasts. A little bit of the old grass there. Surprised as well if with these cars it's one of those where you start building a little bit of confidence and the next thing you know you're upside down. I am sort of throwing the car around a little bit here, see what it's got. Ooh, that's the barrier. See what I haven't got. There's not a hell of a lot of front-end grip on this car. It's to be expected. It is from the 70s. Ooh, a little bit of a bump there the drivers are going to have to watch out for. Oh, and the sun, the midday sun right in your eyes. Oh, okay, well, where's the track then, guys? That's something that I'd not really factored in, thinking about doing commentary this evening, where the sun is going to be positioned in the sky. Top speed's not going to be tremendous in this car anyway, but especially around here, there's only really a couple of parts of the circuit where top speed's going to be beneficial. The rest of the circuit's going to be all about grip and constant speeds. Actually handled that quite nicely. I wasn't exactly hammering it through there, but so some of the crest of the hill bumps the drivers are really going to have to watch out for in the lead race tonight, because they're going to think that they're alright and then all of a sudden the rear end's just going to kick on them. Ooh, he didn't like me pushing it there, and we are going to be seeing a lot of cars in the barriers tonight, I reckon. Constantly wanting to snap away. Be careful of this dip. Brakes are very sensitive, those wanting to lock up. But that could be down to the little bits of setup I wasn't given. Ooh, there's going to be some crashes there tonight. And that's something that this car's not really liking, dips and hills. And around here there's absolutely loads of them. Half carousel as we're coming up to the long straight. And the corner that leads onto it's a tricky one. Very deceiving. If you lose time here, you're going to lose speed down the straight. As I said, I wasn't given a gear ratio to go with, so I've just sort of plunked one on, so no idea what sort of speed I'm going to get up to here. I'm fairly sure the cars are capable of doing about 180, but that's more likely around a circuit on like Monza, where you don't have to focus too much on the corners, so 160 is all I'm getting at the minute. Tell you what though, if any of the drivers do focus on straight line speed around this circuit rather than the corners, they're going to struggle. Whoa. And even turn one's going to be a tricky corner, slightly downhill. Kicking. I tell you what, the guy who's giving me this setup, he may want a little bit more real downforce. This car's not liking the bumps, and it's really not liking them at all. For the drivers, if they're following someone, the dirty air over some of these crests and hills is going to make it even worse. setup I have taken. I'm hoping he's had a lot of practice in this car, made a couple of tweaks to the setup to ride these bumps a little bit nicer, and to be able to plant that throttle a little bit harder. Every bump. Now he did say to me that when he was practicing he was crashing a lot, and I can see why. Now it was about 3-4 days ago I got the setup off him, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has made quite a few adjustments to it. But I mean, this for anyone that watches this will show them just how tricky the race is going to be for all of the drivers this evening. But not only that, if any of them have had no practice or got no setup, yeah, they're going to be in for one hell of a long race. They may even find themselves getting lapped and clip the grass. That's not good. Control it. I mean, if you think about how long it's been since I've actually driven on project cars, I mean, it has been months and months and months. It is sort of the equivalent of someone going into tonight's league race without having had any practice and taking someone else's setup. Gonna have to get ready for the sun to be in my eyes again very soon. Now this section of the track in the race is going to be all about blind faith. Down a little bit on the steering actions, try and not get affected as much by these bumps. For the lead drivers as well, I mean, they've had 6 races in these cars already, building up to taking to a race around the Nordschleife, so they've got much more experience of these cars than I've had, which is going to help them massively when it comes to attacking the tarmac at 9 o'clock this evening in the Full Road Racing PCF. In these cars around this track, it's only going to be for a 7-lap race, but it's going to work out as an 85-mile long race. And with fuel usage in effect as well, tyre wears in effect, I mean, they may find themselves, well, they should be able to fuel up for the whole race, but the tyres, they're not going to last too long, quite possibly only a couple of laps. The crests and hills, and we're getting to the really bumpy part now. Dab of the brakes before the dip. Taking it easy over the hill on that occasion since we lost it there last time. Careful of these curves because they're going to treat the car just like a hill will. Too many gears there. take a breath. One thing I do like about the Nordschleife circuit, this long straight, it allows you to go, okay, take a breather. You've got this straight to go and then you're going at it again. But like I mean, for the lead drivers this evening, racing around this particular track, it is not going to be easy. For another lap. This is a situation where the confidence has been beginning to build, which means we're going to be having an almighty crash soon. Careful of the dips. That corner is going to be an evil one for the drivers. And I'm remembering back to when I was hammering around this track in the LMP1s a long time ago, and that corner is so easy, but in these, a much more difficult corner. It's going. Because it has been such a long time since I've driven on this, one of the things I'm finding is that the reaction to a situation occurring, if you just play on one game for a long time, you get used to what you have to do to react to a sideways moment. So when you come onto a different game, even though I've driven on for a long time, if you just do what you would have done on the other game, you're not going to save the car. Sideways there. We're also Be interesting tonight to see whether the drivers do get down inside the carousel or whether they are going to end up riding around the top. Oh, a bit too much on the brakes. Running here with tyre wear on, so that's something that the drivers are going to have to really think about and have worked out, hopefully before the race, how many laps they are going to be able to do on the set of tyres, because the last thing you want to do is start a lap thinking, yeah, I can get to the end of it on these tyres, and then halfway round they're dead, because if they are, you're going to be going from just under 7 minutes lap time to about 10 minutes, if not more. And it's going again. That's an evil corner in these cars. I've tried dipping the brake before I get there. I've tried being off the throttle. Neither of those worked, and that time I tried on throttle. Still didn't work. Worked. We'll have to reevaluate the approach on that corner. I had completely forgotten just how brutal Project Cars is on the wheel, how much energy it takes, the force behind the wheel. I'll end up with a heartache after this. Obviously using a wheel you can reduce the level of tyre forces, but I have always liked to feel everything the wheel is doing, which has meant having more force in it. Let's go for another lap. To snap again. Much slower approach into that corner this time around. race again after these corners. To have on the crest of that hill. Oh, we're not staying in the carousel this time. Not a lot of grip up on that top level. To go to finish this lap, and so far it's been not a bad one, which means I'm probably going to completely write the car into the last few corners. See a 7-minute 8-second lap time. Not absolutely lightning fast, but to be fair, not absolutely shocking either. I mean, on a setup that's not my own, I don't think I can complain too much about that one. It's an interesting, it's a very, very interesting car. A very interesting car. I'm just wondering whether it's going to allow me to have any kind of replay on that. Doesn't look like it, unless it gives it at the end here. I mean, a clean lap there for myself for 7-minute 8 on a setup that's not mine. Top gear's not quite right. That's not too bad a lap time, I don't think. We'll see faster in the Front Row Racing PCF this evening, as long as the drivers can get their lap times in. If they can get their lap times in, they'll be knocking a bit of time off that. They have been having the opportunity to practice for 6-7 days, so hopefully they have been putting that practice in, because if they have, we could be on for one hell of a race. And the person that wins could be the person that crashes the least. Enjoyed that. I mean, it's been a while since I've played on project cars. I've never really driven this car before. So to take it around the Nordschleife and within, what, 3 or 4 laps, actually get a clean lap in, shows that it can be done, even if it's not on the fastest of pace at the moment. I'm fairly sure, though, with a week's practice, I'll be able to knock a massive chunk of time off that. But I'm not going to be doing that. I mean, I could go and take the Aussie V8s around here, because that's the car that the PCS will be using. Now, I don't have any setup whatsoever for the Ford Falcon V8 supercar, and I've only got about 20 minutes until I have to bring this live stream to an end. But I tell you what, we will just go and see just how tough it's going to be without any kind of setup on. Now, I do know that these cars are absolute, and I don't believe I've got any wheel settings for the car, so it will be absolutely awful. But we'll go and have a laugh, and we'll go see just what it's going to be like for any of the drivers that have no setup taking this car around the Nordschleife. Now, that race will be on Sunday, 8:30 p.m. for 6 laps around the Nordschleife in the Aussie V8s. That'll be on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel, as will the PCF be tonight, 9 p.m. on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel. So if you're interested in watching a few guys try and take the Lotus 72D around the Nordschleife, find the Front Row Racing YouTube channel and watch the live stream that I'll be commentating on at 9 o'clock this evening. Let's go and see how bad this is going to be then.
Go, go, go.
Now, this is a car that I haven't driven on a wheel. The only time I have actually driven this was on a pad when I've been making the thumbnail pictures for the Front Row Racing PCS League. So literally I drive it to turn 1, park it up and watch the replay to get some photos. So no idea what this car is like on a wheel. Admittedly though, I am a big fan of the Aussie V8s. I do love them. I love the fact that they are V8 monsters, very basic as far as technology goes. They're fantastic race cars, ridiculously powerful, fairly damn quick, and very tail happy. And very understeery with no setup. No setup and cold front tyres, so yeah, that's not going to help. That front just does not want to turn. I'll tell you what, if any of the guys will be using a stock setup where the front doesn't want to turn around this track, they're going to struggle in the league race. Too much of a boot of throttle there. Easily done on these cars. Now I do know a few people have tried playing project cars on a pad and don't like it. It's very twitchy on the steering, very twitchy with the throttle and braking. But if you are using a pad, you really do need to get some decent controller settings and apply them, because if you don't, the game is absolutely awful. cars, not steering very nicely at all. I mean, that's where, if I was going to play about with setups, that would definitely be the first thing on the agenda. Get that front end turning in. Are doing its job. The driver isn't though because he's on the grass. With the old carousel. Oh, it's bumpy. It doesn't like it. Oh, I'll tell you what, for the drivers on Sunday, they might want to try taking the high road around the carousel, or at least having their suspension set up so that they can bounce around there quite nicely. I will just remind you that I haven't got any kind of setup on this car. No steering wheel settings either on this particular car. With it being a recent DLC, I haven't, because I've not been racing or driving on project cars, I've not been updating my wheel settings. And for anyone that's joining this now thinking, hang on a minute, that's not a Lotus. No, it's not. I've done a few laps in the Lotus to get an idea of what it's going to be like for the Front Row Racing PCF, the Project Cars Fridays League drivers this evening when they race around here. I'll be doing commentary on that race on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel. And on Sunday, the PCS, the Project Cars Sundays, quite simple or quite obvious really, they're going to drive in the RTB8s around here, which is why I figured, well, I've got about 10-15 minutes, I'll just take one of these around and see what it's like. See how it copes with the dips. Not bad. Didn't like braking there. Yeah, did not want to slow down at all. I'll tell you what though, my wheel is working hard. And now I'm remembering some of the frustrations of project cars. It does work a wheel quite hard. You can get them overheating a little bit. And when that happens, the force feedback drops. So I've now got a much lighter wheel, which means I don't feel every bump in the road, and I like to feel every bump in the road. Now my gears are probably going to be way too short here. I mean, I've not played about the setup, gear ratios, anything like that. And we're going down the straight circuit. I've got enough time to go for another lap, so I'll do that. Topping out here, it's just showing that I haven't done anything at all to the setup. And I do remember that when project cars first came out, quite a few people were annoyed or getting frustrated with the level of detail of setups and how much of an effect they can have. And that's what setups do. They can make your car go faster. They can also make your car go slower if you get it wrong. But it was never really a pick up and play game, especially if you're on a controller. On a wheel you could pick up and play, but within a couple of corners, a couple of laps, you know you'd be wanting to adjust the setup to get better steering or riding curves better. On a pad it was all, I can't turn, and touch the steering and it just spins because it's way too sensitive. Too quick from there. Strong on these cars. But now I'm just being way too kind on them. Trying to get away from you there. Close to clipping the glass and spinning there. Okay, so it doesn't matter how slow you take the carousel on the standard setup, she's spinning. it's not been anywhere near as evil as it was in the open wheel car. Tried to approach it last time. Then slowed down the time a little bit earlier. Oh, even the half carousel was being evil today. Okay, so a couple of very interesting laps then in the Aussie V8. No setup, nothing done to it. A long time since I've driven around on project cars before this live stream today, and I must admit, it's been a very enjoyable car to drive. And I remember driving the Ford Sierra Cosworth around here a long time ago, and that was an absolute evil around this track. But this Aussie V8's been quite enjoyable. With a few setup tweaks, I can imagine that this car is absolutely amazing to drive. I mean, I do remember I used to love the Aussie V8s that were on GT5. Absolutely adored them. They're brilliant cars to drive. Be right without doing a couple of donuts. Very fun car to drive, that. Really fun car to drive. Okay, I'm going to have to bring this live stream to an end. I mean, I only came on to have a little go in the Lotus around the Nordschleife as a bit of insight when doing commentary on the front row racing PCF this evening. I've now got that little bit of insight. And I must admit, with it having been such a long time since I've driven on project cars, it's brought back some interesting fun memories of hammering around the Nordschleife. But also there's still a few things that go, oh yeah, it does that, like with the wheel going light because it's working quite hard and getting quite hot. I mean, I haven't been on for an hour and it is working the wheel quite hard. Which would mean reducing the level of feedback the wheel's producing, but then I won't get the level of feeling from the car that I like and I want. But there we go. Interesting little session for me there. But I am now going to have to go and get ready to do commentary this evening. So if you're interested in watching a few of the guys from Front Row Racing thrashing the Lotus 72D. I'm not sure which one that is. I will show the viewers again. The Lotus 72D Cosworth for 7 laps around the Nordschleife this evening. Join myself on commentary at 9 PM on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel, and we'll see how that's going to go. It could be absolute carnage, but everything we can do is wait and see. Anyway, I'll say I'm going to bring this live stream to an end, and hopefully I will be able to do a few more of my own personal live streams now that the Front Row Racing F1 season has ended. Anyway, I'm Front Row Racing DP. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.